Good evening, everyone. I welcome you all for the fourth day faculty development program on advanced communication skills and digital literacy in profession. It's time to welcome our first speaker, Dr. Mona Thaman, Vice Chairman of the Future Leader International Academy, Professor of Educational Technology and E-Learning, General Coordinator of the Sheikha Fadia Al Sabah Innovations Competition in Egypt, Member of National Council of Women, Head of the International Education Sector of African Asian Union, a consultant in education technology and development at GuidePoint, an American global consultancy and LEK International for consultation, member of Arab Society for Material Science at the Institute of Postgraduate Studies and Research, Alexandria University, author of the book Philosophy of Modern Education, founder of the Future Schools for Egyptian Students in Kuwait, head of the Performance Division at the Ministry of Education in the state of Kuwait, and she's a consultant, psychological and consultant in thinking skills and concentration, international certified lecturer and trainer. And she has more than 19 years experience in education technology and training. She holds the first place in the Middle East in the programming educational games. She won the creativity prize of Shiga Sabah Al Ahmad. She won the innovation award for Shiga Faria Al Ahmad. She received the e-learning award. She holds the Order of Change Makers at the level of Arab world. She earned the Best Educational Innovation Award in Mevin Global Award, and she earned Outstanding International Digital Educator Award. She earned the Best Teacher Global Award. She earned the International Women Achiever Award, and she earned Judge and in Steve Global Award and Judge in IKCC Kids Programming Course. She won a Global Teacher Award 2021, and she won a Special Excellent Award from the Mevin competition in Middle East 2022. And she's certified as Innovative Educator from Microsoft, certified as Teacher Academy from Microsoft 2022. We are so glad to welcome you, ma'am. Over to you.
Welcome. Thank you very much. Thank you to all for all organizers for this conference, international conference. I'm so happy to be with you today. I will start to share my presentation about artificial intelligence implementations. My screen is visible now.
व्हिडिओ आहे त्याच्यातला तू पाहण्याचा घ्यायचा कुठे दाखव ना दिसून मिळालं
Is my screen? Yeah, you see my screen now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. It's visible, ma'am.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Now we all hear about artificial intelligence as the importance and the very, very important tool in that time and the future time in technology. AI or artificial intelligence is very important for many factors like education, health, economy, marketing, and so, design, and so on. So everybody must, or every human must know about artificial intelligence, must learn how can we use artificial intelligence in our life, and what is the important implementations and platform for artificial intelligence. First, what is the AI? What is the AI? It means, simply put, in the creation of software that imitates human behavior and capabilities, key workload included, machine learning and the artificial intelligence, the key words or included many steps or some steps. The first one is machine learning. Machine learning, this is often the foundation for AI system, and is the way we teach a computer model to make prediction and draw conclusion from data. Anomaly detection, the capability to automatically detect errors or unusual activity in a system. Computer vision, the capability of software to interrupt the world visually through camera, videos, and images. Natural language processing, the capability for a computer to interpret written or spoken language and respond to in kind. Knowledge mining or knowledge mining, the capability to extract information from large volumes of often unstructured data to create a searchable knowledge storage. This is the steps, or this is the key words of artificial intelligence, or this is the what is machine can do like human behavior. So understanding machine learning. What is the understanding machine learning? Machine learning is the foundation for most AI solutions. Let's start by looking at a real-world example for how machine learning can be used to solve a difficult problem. Sustainable farming techniques are essential to maximize food production while protecting a fragile environment. The Yield and Architecture technology company based in Australia uses sensors, data, and machine learning to help farmers make information decisions related to weather, soil, and plant, and also conditions. We can see this video to see how artificial intelligence provides solving for all parts of the life, like farming or for architecture. Video will start now. This is an example for how artificial intelligence solve many problems like agriculture. So when the video is open, we will skip this video. How machine learning works. So how do machines learn? How we can learn a machine, or how machine can be learned? The answer is from data. In today's world, we create volume or huge volumes of data as we go about over our everyday lives. Or we create data from internet, and there is a huge volumes of data. From the text message, emails, and social media posts, we send it to the photography and videos. We take on our phones, we generate massive amounts of information. More data still is created by millions of sensors in our homes, cars, cities, public transport, infrastructure, and factories. Data science or data scientists can use all of the data to train machine, to train step by step, or to learn a machine, or to train machine learning model that can make a prediction and inferences based on the relationship they find in the data. For example, suppose an environmental organization wants volunteers to identify and catalog different species of wildflower using a phone app. The following animations show how machine learning can be used to enable this. Is we for this example, the machine learn, we first we provide a number of flowers, and we want the machine detected some flowers are specific kind of flowers. So, and we send after we input data or multiple data from different kind of flowers, so the machine learn which flower or detect a specific type of flower. This is the machine learning. A team of obtains a scientist collect data on wildflower samples. The team labels the samples with the correct sizes. The labeled data is processed using an algorithm that finds relations between the feature of the sample and the leaded spices. The results of algorithm are encapsulated in model. When new samples are found by voluntary, the model can identify the correct spices label or special label. This is the algorithm. Machine learning in Microsoft Azure. So Microsoft Azure provides this is a platform, it's a very important platform as Microsoft Azure to learning machine or to learning machine to learning artificial intelligence. Azure Machine Learning Service, a cloud-based platform. This is a cloud platform for creating, managing, and publishing machine learning models. Azure Machine Learning provides the following features and capabilities. First, automated machine learning. What is the automated machine learning? What is the capability of automated machine learning? This feature enables non-experts to quickly create an effective machine learning model from data. You also collected data and create effective machine learning model from data. Next feature, Azure Machine Learning Designer. A graphical, the feature capability is a graphical interface enable non-code. This is artificial intelligence platform. There is non-code development for machine learning solutions. The next feature, data and compute management. Cloud-based data storage and compute resources that professional data scientists can use to run data experiments code at scale. This is when the user or the scientist or data scientist is learning codes, so they can use this platform, data and compute management. Pipelines, data scientist, software engineer, and IT operations professional can define pipelines to others or architectures model training, deployment, and management tasks. This is the features or the capability. The next features of artificial intelligence is understanding anomaly detection. How machine, after machine learning, now how machine understanding anomaly detection or detected the spices image. Imagine you are created a software system to monitor credit card transaction and detected unusual usage patterns that might indicate fraud, or an application that tracks activity in an automated production line and identifies failures, or a racing car telemetry system that uses sensors to protective warn engineering about potential mechanical or failures before they happen, to take attention or to warn the give a warning for drivers that is there is a potential mechanical failures before they happen. These kinds of sensor can be addressed by using anomaly detection. This is for examples or these examples for using anomaly detection. a machine learning-based techniques that analyze data over time and identifies unusual changes. Like this one, the car racing, anomaly detection might help the car racing sensor. So the sensor, this is the first one, the second car, the third car has a problem in mechanics, so the timer is stopped to detected, or because he is detected, it's detected that a problem in this car in mechanics. So give us alarm and warning to detected, or this is mean anomaly detection, or anomaly detection. They give us our sensors to detect the difficulty or the problem or the failure in techniques. Sensor in the car collected how it can do. First, sensors in the car collect telemetry such as engine revolutions, brake, temperature, and so on. And also our next anomaly detection model is trained to understand expected fluctuation in the telemetry measurements over time. What is the problem? And detected the problem. What is the difference in the normal way? If a measurement occurs outside of the normal expected range, the model reports an anomaly that can be used to alert the race engineer to call the driver in for a pit stop to fix the issue before it forced retirement from the race. So it's very important for safety. This is an example for anomaly detection, but this is example or this technique used. It's very important in health devices. In also a lot of devices can use artificial intelligence. Anomaly detection is Microsoft Azure, or in Microsoft Azure. The anomaly detectors service provide an application programming interface that developers can use create anomaly detection solution to learn more about this anomaly detection service website. This website, you can use it to learn more about detection or anomaly detection. Okay, this is the next features of artificial intelligence is understand computer vision. First step is machine learning. Next step is anomaly detection. The third step is understanding computer vision. The computer now can understand, can behave like human behavior. How machine understands, how machine can detect the difference between every image or every sensor. Understanding computer vision is an area of AI that deals with a visual processing. Let's explore some examples of possibilities that computer vision brings. The Seeing AI app is a great example of the power of computer vision. Seeing AI, this is app. Seeing AI is app with artificial intelligence is a great example of the power of computer vision. Designed for the blind and low vision community, the Seeing AI app harness the power of AI to open up the visual world and describe nearly people, text and objects. This is app is very important for blending people. You can search about that. We can see following Seeing the app. I hope it works now. I'm trying it. I can try it with Google Chrome. seeing AI. This is application from Microsoft. This application seeing from Microsoft, and you can see value for its application. There's a problem for loading the video. You can search in your phones about this app, seeing AI apps. This app for this mobile app. So we can see it on platform PC. We can search it about on mobile phones. Okay. Now we see another implementations for AI. For AI is on machine learning models that can be applied to visual from camera videos or image. So how machine learning, how machine be learning is this one with artificial intelligence. We can see now. First, the machine, we can see now the photo, and we can see the person who with a dog in the street and human on the street or us on the street and so on. How can machine learning, how we can training a machine? First, we can learn machine or can training a machine about this one as the first step. Semantic segmentation. Semantic segmentation is advanced machine learning technique in which individual pixels and the image are classified according to the objects to which they belong. For example, a traffic monitoring solution might overlay to highlight different vehicles using colors. We can now see the different vehicles in the road or on the street. So how can machine detected this is a bus or car or cycle is the first one. Image analysis. Image analysis, you can create a solution that combine machine learning models with the so we can image analysis, so we can teach machine or training a machine, create solutions that combine machine learning model with advanced image analysis technique to extract information from image, including tags that could help calculate the image or often descriptive caption that summarize the sense of or the sensors show in the image. The first or the next step, we can see face detection analysis. Face detection to recognize for humans or repeated humans faces in an image. This can combine with classification and facial analysis technique to recognize the individual based on their facial or features. So we must the sensor detected the human faces. Also, optical character recognition. OCR, optical character recognition. Optical character recognition is a technique used to detect the and read text or first detected image, also detected the different types of the same image, and also read the text. And you can use OR or OCR, optical character recognition, to read text in photographs, for example, roads, sign, or store fonts, or extra information from scanned documents such as a letter, invoice, or forms. So this is when the car with artificial intelligence on the street. Okay. I chose this app for an example for machine learning. The first machine the machine detected the image first, and also they can put expression or put information about every image, and also the machine learning or
Excuse me, Mona ma'am, your screen is not properly, PPT is not properly visible.
not visible.
You are sharing screen, but your PPT is not visible.
Okay. Now video is possible. Now the video is possible.
Yes, ma'am, you are sharing your screen, but PPT is not yet visible.
Okay. I chose a video, for example, about machine learning and how machine detected the different type. Now PPT is visible now.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, it's visible now.
Okay. We talk about NLP or natural language processing, and how artificial or how machine can learn a different type of language, and cognitive search can utilize the built-in AI capabilities to cognitive services such as image processing, content extraction, and natural language processing to perform knowledge mining of document. The product's AI capability makes it possible to index previously unsearchable documents and extract and surfaces insight from large amount of data quickly, like ChatGPT. The next or the challenges and risk with AI. A lot of people think that about that AI, there is not a risk with AI, or what is what is the challenges with AI. Yes, there is a challenges with AI. What is it? Artificial intelligence is a powerful tool that can be used greatly benefits the world. However, like any tool, it must be used responsibly. The following table shows some of the potential challenges and risk facing an AI. The first risk is basis can affect results. A loan approval model described by gender due to basis in the data with which it was trained. Some knowledge depending on the gender, but or discriminated by gender, but the machine don't, or the artificial intelligence didn't recognize the gender of the knowledge. Or for example, what is the gender or teacher for man or for women, what teacher also, programmer for men, and also for women. So the gender for some knowledge is being risk or difficult. Errors may causes harm. If there is an error, it will cause a harm. So artificial intelligence must be very, very safety. And autonomous vehicles, like when we use a car or auto driving car, it must be very, very safety, and it must be trained more and more, because the safety for human. So a vehicle experiences a system failure and cause a collection. So any errors will cause a harm for human health. The challenge also or risk data could be exposed. A medical diagnostic plot is trained using sensitive patient data, so it must be exposed. The like systems using AI in medical, so using or trained using sensitive patient data, which is stored in security. And also the risk solutions may not work for everyone. The solutions with AI may not work for everyone. A home automation assistants provide no audio output for visually impaired user, for example. Users must trust a complex system. An AI-based financial tool make investment recognition that, or what are they based on? Who label for AI-driven decision, and a next person or announcement person is invoiced for a crime based on a visual or recognition or faces recognition or principle. Who is responsible? The responsibility for the programmer or the designer with AI. So this is the risk for AI. Now I will show for you some examples or some very useful platforms which we can use with AI with easy way and in few times. The first platform is Future Video IO. Future Video IO. This is platform or application. Future Video is have 19,000 tools added today, or new added, or a lot of tools with AI. With this platform, we can use this 3D, art, audio editing, avatar, code assist, copyright, customer support, and a lot of features in this platform. Customer editing, our design assist, developer tool, e-commerce, education, and email assist, experience, fashion, and fitness, fun, all tools with AI. We take example education assist. Around 99 AI education assistant tools with AI. So we can see this for free, some for free and some with fees. This is tool, check for AI. All these tools, an example for AI education assist. So it's a very, and we can search also for category like live assist or copyright, like this one, and filter. It will show applications or tools use AI or copyrighting in education assist. Education editor, or we can see arts, for example. It's a very, very useful and very easy platform for using AI tools or AI applications. This is when C3D or art. It will show for you a lot of examples or a lot of tools of application. Some of them paid and some of them for free. We can use it for AI implementation. This is a platform called Future Media. Also, there is a lot of another applications. I show it. There is a private commerce business improve their product discovery and search also. This one, this is platform. And photo design. Photo design, Canva is a very, very amazing platform. Canva, amazing platform which uses artificial intelligence. How we can use it? I will show Canva. This platform uses artificial intelligence in many or in different ways for design, for design platform or design web, for design video, and so on. It's very important for design presentation in a very creative way. Most of them, the template is free in Canva. It will be open. It will open now. It's very easy because it based on artificial examples for artificial intelligence. Convert our life to be very, very easy, and we can make income and work online with these tools and with this platform. Because in Canva, we can design web, we can design videos, we can marketing or digital marketing, we can posts, we can design posts, we can design presentation. This is website. After we create account, we can choose or choose what we do. Presentation, social media, videos, website. This a lot of the library have a lot of templates, creative templates. Now you can design your website and also you can design other companies and you can be at a source income for you. And more, you can see more. It's difficult for me. Maybe loading the time link because okay, you can discover this is great and yeah, Canva, and you can select videos or websites or social media posts or presentation and poster and so on. You select the template and you can, it was very easy way you can edit and save and publish for you. Another form for using AI is video production or video or web design also. You can design with artificial intelligence. There's a lot of or many platform to design with artificial intelligence, like this one, farmer.com. I can put it in farmer.com. This is a platform to design website with artificial intelligence in minutes. You can design your own website in a few minutes with artificial intelligence. Excuse me for the connection, is a bad connection. Okay, I will show for you the examples or the names of applications or platforms, and you search about it, and it's very easy to use this. Okay. Sharing and management. Data sharing and management, the code allow users to create and separate documents that combine text, table, and interactive. The platform is coda.io. I will include the coda.io. Allow users to create and separate notes, document, and database. Also, this website is Notion.so. Notion.so. This is platform allow users to create and collaborate on notes, documents, and database. And also, this is examples. Customer process automation is N8N.io. N8N.io. They allow users to connect various tools and automate repetitive tasks. N8N. Another platform called Make.io. Make.io allow users to create customer workflow and automations without writing the code. Make.io. If there's one uses a flow without using the code, is Make.io. And the very amazing platform is connect various tools and automated workflows. Zapier.com. Zapier.com is allow you to connect various and workflow. There's a lot of 100 tools and the web flow. 100 tools for using AI. Also, video protection. Video protection. Premiere Pro is widely used in film and the TV industry. This is the LinkedIn. LinkedIn. This is a artificial intelligence using for film and the TV industry. Hello?
Yes, ma'am. Please unmute yourself, ma'am.
Hello? Hello?
Yes, ma'am. You're audible.
Yeah. What is the last thing I show for you? I show the examples for AI applications and the platform.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Your voice is
you
not
hearing
clear,
it?
actually.
Okay. The last I show the examples for AI applications.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
You see it? Yes, this is the last. This is now I finish my session. I'm so sorry for the interruption. I hope my session be useful for you, and I hope the audience search about the platform which I talk about by using the AI design videos, design website, and the searching and text content search and so on. Thank you very much. Thank you for you, for all audience. Thank you. Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I'm now I finished now my session. I hope my session be useful for you, for all. And there is a questions. Is there any questions?
Yes, ma'am. It's really useful for us. So, dear participants, you can ask your questions now.
Okay. Anyone have a question? Can ask me.
So, I think no questions. So, thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for your valuable time with us.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye, ma'am. So it's time to welcome our second speaker, Professor Dr. Pratik Rajan Muge, scientist, professor, counselor, global educator, published author, and an international speaker. He is the first Indian to be appointed as the Planetary Minister of Sustainable Development of newly emerging the Kingdom of Atlantis. He is the first youngest Indian whose book introduced to sustainable development goals non-academic is now a part of Atlantean education program. He is the first youngest Indian to receive 300 plus honorary doctorates from all over the world. He is the first youngest Indian professor who taught to more than 8,000 plus students and career guided 4,000 plus students till date, and the count is still on. He is the first Indian who has 850 plus international, national, and state awards, 6 national patent, 15 world records at the age of 28 for his contribution in the field of teaching and research. He is the first youngest Indian to receive 125 plus honorary high degrees across the globe. He is the first Indian to be appointed by 45 plus international organizations on various high positions at the same time. He is the first Indian youngest professor to start teaching at the age of 16. At the age of 27, he has completed 12 years of teaching. He is the first youngest Indian to receive Medalist Fellowship, first Indian to receive the distinguished title Professor Wisdom from Indonesian Cultural Columbia. He visiting faculty in many national and foreign universities. He's a director of research and innovation OXFA University, Lighthouse Leadership University. First youngest Indian to be appointed as Vice Chancellor position at Unified Theological Seminar, USA, University of Kingdom of Atlantis, Singapore, Wisdom University, Kobe, Nigeria. We are so glad to welcome you, sir. Over to you.
Admin, please check your mail. He shared his PPT on your mail.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We will share that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your kind introduction. Yes. Can I have my PPT? Am I audible to everyone?
Ma'am, kindly wait for a second, sir. I will share that.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible. Welcome, Pratik, sir.
Thank you.
So just a minute. We are sharing some technical issues. Just a minute. Ma'am, please start the
Pratik, sir?
Yes. Okay. Yes, yes. Is it visible? Shall I start?
Yes, sir, you can start.
Okay. So today's my topic is advanced teaching methodology. So in this advanced teaching methodology, the first concept is the concept of teaching. A concept is a focus of interferences permitted by the various uses of term. So hence, for understanding the concept of terms teaching, there are some issues that have to be focused. First, definitions of the term teaching. Second, nature and characteristics of teaching. And last one, its relationship with other related or synonymous terms. So let's first begin with the different definitions of teaching. So according to H.C. Morrison, teaching is an intimate contact between a more mature personality and a less mature one, which is designed to further the education of the latter. Second definition, according to John Brubacher, is teaching is an arrangement and manipulation of a situation in which there are gaps and obstructions which an individual will seek to overcome and from which he will learn in the course of doing so. Then the third is according to B.O. Smith. Teaching, he says, teaching is a system of actions intended to produce learning. Next, N.L. Gage. He says teaching is a form of interpersonal influence aimed at changing the behavior potential of another person. Then comes Edmund Amidon. He says teaching is an interactive process primarily involving classroom talk, which takes place between teacher and pupil. That pupil is children and occurs during certain definite activities. Then comes B.O. Smith. He says teaching is a system of actions involving an agent, an end in view, and a situation, including two sets of factors, those over which the agent has no control, like class size, size of classroom, physical characteristics of pupils, etc. And those that he can modify, which means ways of asking questions about instruction and ways of structuring information or ideas. Then comes Clark. So Clark says teaching refers to activities that are designed and performed to produce change in pupils' behavior. Then there are so many educators who define teaching. Next is Thomas Green. Thomas E. Green. He says teaching is the task of teacher which is performed for the development of the child. And the last is Joachim and Simpson. The both says teaching is the means whereby the experienced members of the group guide the mature and infant members in their adjustment of life. So these are some definitions of teaching. Now, next slide. In the next slide, I'm going to focusing on relationship between teaching and learning. So it is essential to establish the relationship between teaching and learning. The understanding of relationship between teaching and learning requires the understanding of meaning of these two. The meaning of learning can be explained by following definition, as you can see. Woodward. Woodward's define learning as the process of acquiring new knowledge and new responses. Then comes Pavlov's. Pavlov's view is that learning is habit formation resulting from conditioning. And the last definition is Crow and Crow. Consider learning as the acquisition of habits, knowledge, and attitude. So in brief, learning may be defined as a relatively permanent change in behavior, excluding the influence of growth, maturity, or lesson. So the teaching process is also related to realize the same objective, as may be clear from the definition of teaching given by Clark's definition teaching, that is activities that are designed and performed to produce change in students' behavior. Relates teaching process to realize the same objective. It can be concluded that teaching consists of all those activities or system of actions that are intended to produce learning. But cause and effect relationship does not exist between teaching and learning. It is not essential for a teaching to be ended with some or other type of learning. Similarly, for learning, it is not essential for a learning to be initiated or handled by some or other types of teaching. Learning may also take place without involving the formalities of teaching process. Whenever a teacher teaches something to his class, his teaching intends to produce learning or bringing relatively permanent changes in both the process of teaching and learning, which are followed simultaneously as two phases of the same coin and are undertaken the process hand in hand. Thus, their interrelationship can be clearly analyzed by the follow and following procedures. Like first, learning is a psychological aspect which could be achieved by the process of teaching, which is a social phenomenon. Second, teaching leads to achieve learning. Third, teaching affects the personality of an individual, which leads to maturity, being the modification of behavior among an individual. Fourth, teaching leads to having an intimate contact with the learners with better adjustment and thus accounts for favorable attitudinal modification, which is a learning concept. And last, teaching is an interaction between teacher and learner, which leads to achieve the objectives, which in turn affects for their modification in behavior. So this is about relationship between teaching and learning. Next slide, please. Now, in the next slide, I'm going to focusing on the concept of a theory. So, the concept, the term theory has been defined by eminent scholars. According to Karlinger, a theory is a set of interrelated concepts, definitions, and propositions that presents a systematic view of a phenomena by specifying relationships among variables with the purpose of explaining and predicting the phenomena. According to Good and Had, theory refers to the relationship between facts and ordering of their meaning ways. According to Matheson, a theory specifies the relationship between events for the purpose of explaining the occurrence of the events and predicting future events. A theory helps in understanding the mechanism and interrelationships among the variables involved in a phenomena or process. So theories have predictive value. The result of the particular phenomena or process can be known in advance with the help of the theories. Now, the theory of teaching and its meaning. So, teaching involves a set of activities called teaching acts, teacher behaviors, and number of variables that form part of the teaching process. A theory of teaching must provide a theoretical framework for the proper planning, organization, and control of the teaching tasks or teacher behaviors and manipulation of all the involved variables in order to realize the stipulated educational objectives effectively. It must help the teachers to bring about desirable behavioral change in their students and actualize their potentialities to the maximum. So a theory of teaching must provide an answer for all questions relating to teaching for effective learning. Contrary to theories of learning which pertains to the behaviors of the learner, the factors, conditions, and situations in which they learn effectively and outcomes of learning behaviors of the teacher and their teaching aim for better learning. So the term theory of teaching has been described by B.O. Smith. He describes theories of teaching as an attempt to describe teaching variables involved in the teacher behavior in terms of their existence and possible interrelations for predicting outcomes of teaching. He points that a theory of teaching needs to incorporate the three elements. First element is it has to maintain the different teaching variables involved in the teacher behavior. Second, it has to describe the possible relations among these variables. Third, it must predict the impact of teaching. So according to Gleig, a theory of teaching must answer three questions related to the teaching process. First, how do teachers behave? Second, why do they behave as they do? Third, what are the effects? So Gage NL, he was a great philosopher. So Gage visualizes a teaching theory to have its predictive value. The learning performance of a student shows high correlation with teacher effectiveness, and this effectiveness is gained through the knowledge and the study of teaching theories. So, according to Brunner, a theory of teaching concerns with the most efficient ways and means for optimum learning. It must specify and ensure the arrangement most effective learning experiences, learning environment, and learning methods for optimum learning outcomes. Mitra was a philosopher. He considered a theory of teaching to be derived from the theories of psychology, like theories of motivation, intelligence, and individual differences. So, in his opinion, a theory of teaching prepares the teacher to perform his teaching responsibilities as effectively as possible. A teacher has to maintain a sort of a contractual relationship between himself and his students. Through his teaching, he has to materialize this contract, and for this purpose, he is bound to engage in the specific teaching acts like analysis of the teaching tasks, setting of teaching objectives, identifying the entering behavior of the students, and selecting most appropriate teaching methods and strategies for the attainment of the set of objectives. So thus, a theory of teaching can be described as the application of knowledge of psychology for improving classroom teaching practice and the teaching skills of teacher. So from all this definition, the nature, functions of the theories of teaching can be, we can summarize in you can say some points. So first point, how we can summarize this. So theory of teaching is directly linked with the psychology of instruction. It may draw its material from various theories of learning, motivation, etc. The theory of teaching are evolved out of the logical insight into the learning process and logical analysis of the task. This is the first point. Second point, it helps in the proper formulation of teaching objectives. So, yeah, I was explaining the second point. It helps in the proper formulation of teaching objectives, defining these objectives in behavioral terms, and explaining how these objectives can be effectively achieved by suggesting appropriate teaching techniques and strategies. The third point, it helps in understanding the role of different variables involved in the teaching process, their interrelationships, and manipulation in order to achieve maximum learning. And last point, it helps in developing proper teaching models, teaching and instructional designs, and teaching system for a particular teaching learning situation. So thus, teaching theory tries to equip the teachers with all essential knowledge, facts, principles, and theoretical understanding related to their teaching tasks, behaviors, and teaching process. It provides general and specific direction to the teacher in their teaching path to become effective teachers. Next slide, please. Functions of theories of teaching. Hello? Yes? Thank you. So teaching is a form of interpersonal influence aimed at changing the behavior potential of another person. So now, what are the functions? So these are the functions. First, it helps to understand the nature of teaching. Second, it explains the relationship and role of different variables in teaching process. Third, it gives the knowledge about the assumptions of teaching activities, which provides guidelines for organizing teaching. Fourth, it explains the relationship between teaching and learning and identifies a common factor. Fifth point, instructional designs can be developed with the help of theories of teaching. Then next is it provides the scientific basis for planning, organizing, leading and evaluating the teaching, which is classroom management. Next point is it helps in studying the classroom teaching problems scientifically, which is action research, what we call it as. Next function, it can develop teaching skills and strategies with employing competency by the use of theories of teaching. Next, it helps for achieving the teaching objectives successfully. And NL gag suggests that it may be used to increase understanding, prediction, and control of teaching. Now, basis of theories of teaching. See, according to Freud, the theory is a set of assumptions which would be delivered or which would be derived by purely logic mathematical procedures with a large set of empirical laws. It furnishes an explanation of these laws and unifies the originally relative heterogeneous areas of subject matter characterized by those empirical laws. So teaching, the terms teaching refers to what? First, body of knowledge, a body of ideas, and a system of beliefs. Second, an occupation of a professional, profession in which teacher instructs and educates. Third, a way of marking something known to others, usually in the routine of a school. So basis, a combined idea of both theory and teaching leads with some important basis. Such basis of theories of teaching are, epistemology, then second is logic, third is psychology. So you people are already aware of the concept of psychology. So first, I will explain epistemology. So epistemology is what? A branch of philosophy which deals with the structure and functions of knowledge. Epistemology, it refers to the content of an education system. It accounts for quality and quantity of education. Third, it is an quantitative measurement with a deliberate planning. So this is about epistemology. Second is logic. So what is logic? It is a sequential form of thinking. It accounts for reasoning, which is a sort of convince and mental adjustment. Then it accounts for indo-deductive approach, which is the whole of sequencing. Third, it is logical inductive approach, thus leads to greater thinking process. Next is the theories of teaching. See, according to, as I discussed earlier also, Brunner, the theory of teaching is an explanation of general methodology of teaching. So, according to Kunlinger also, a theory of teaching is what a set of interrelated constructs, definitions, prepositions, which presents a systematic view of teaching by specifying relations among variables for the purpose of explaining the predicting. Now, my next slide explains the types of theories of teaching. Okay, so the theories of teaching are broadly classified into three types. As first one is formal theories of teaching. Second one is descriptive theories of teaching. Third is normative theories of teaching. First, formal theory of teaching. So this theory of teaching is also known as philosophical theory of teaching. It is based on certain logic, metaphysical and epistemological assumptions and proposition. So this include meiotic theory of teaching, which I explain later on, communication theory of teaching, molding theory of teaching, and mutual inquiry theory of teaching. So this is about formal theories of teaching. Second is descriptive theory of teaching. So these are based on imperial evidence and observations called as descriptive theory. So its purpose is to predict the relationship between effectiveness of different variables of teaching. It includes some of the theories like Gagnet's hierarchical theory, then Atkinson's decision theoretic analysis of optimizing learning, and Brunner's cognitive theory. And the third is psychology. It is based on criteria of condition of learning. It also accounts for theories of learning, and it also leads to the development of personality, which is psychological concept. Now, next slide is formal theories of teaching. So these theories are based on certain principles of thought, science of knowledge, and philosophical theories of teaching. So there are 4 theories which I'm going to explain. First is meiotic theory of teaching. Second one is communication theory of teaching. Third is molding theory of teaching. And the last one is the mutual inquiry theory. So let us discuss meiotic theory of teaching. So it is an earliest philosophical theory which originated from the ideas and methodology of teaching put forward by the ancient Greek philosophers Socrates and Plato. It also reflects the educational philosophy Indian educationalists like Vivekananda, Swami Vivekananda, and Mahatma Gandhi. Their philosophers' assumptions is that all knowledge rests within the individual child, and the task of teaching is to unfold the knowledge. Teaching has to draw out the best in child's body, mind, and spirit, and nothing has to be induced from outside. So the teacher's job is to help the child in the recollection of the stored knowledge existing in the child's mind. And the child has all the inherent potential, like a seed. Teaching has to provide adequate opportunities for the proper germination and growth of these potentialities. And the special features of these theories are the knowledge to be gained by the child through education already lies within him in the shape of forgotten knowledge. The task of teaching is to help the child in its proper recollection. Second point, every child is born with inherent capacities and abilities. So teacher's job is to help the child in actualizing these potentialities and making his internal external. And third point, in the upbringing and education of the child, this theory, meiotic theory of teaching, puts more emphasis on hereditary and environmental influences. The second theory is communication theory of teaching. This is a teaching method, second teaching method, communication theory of teaching. So quite contrary to meiotic theory, this theory believes that the child has nothing with him like forgotten knowledge or inherent capacities which need to be unfolded through teaching. Knowledge, skills, attitude, or interest have to be given from outside in this theory particularly. It is not the child but the teachers who are pre-equipped with knowledge and skills through teaching, and it is their duty to communicate the same by adopting proper methods to the child for his development. So variety of methods and devices like narration, explanation, demonstration, experimentation could be used by the teacher for making his communication as effective as possible. So this theory considers teaching as a way of effective communication. Excellency of a teacher depends on how well the teacher is able to communicate to his students for bringing desirable changes in their behavior. So on philosophical basis, this theory is considered and conceived through the what I can say, Herbartian assumption of appreciative man. That is, assimilation of new experiences to a man already existing in the mind, consisting of a past experiences or old ideas. So consequently, communication theory advocates that while communicating with their students, teacher must make use of their past experiences. Second, teacher should make use of explanation, narration, and demonstration activities as methodology. Third, teacher should try to make maximum use of their students' memory and perceptual abilities. Fourth, teacher must follow the five famous Herbartian steps, which is first preparation, second presentation, third assimilation, fourth organization, and last one is recitation while planning their lesson. The main features of communication theory are what is to be taught to the child lies outside and not within the child. The teacher has to provide the knowledge, skills, etc. to the child by using the communication strategies involving telling, showing, and doing activities. So this is all about communication theory. Now, next theory is molding theory of teaching. Molding theory of teaching, which is also known as this theory plays an environmental play a key role. So this theory considers teaching as a process of behavior modification or a way of shaping and molding the student's behavior and personality in a desired pattern. It is the outcome of the ideas propagated by the school of behaviorism and involves the principle of stimulus response theories, including operant conditioning. As a result, in the teaching advocated by this theory, environmental influences hold the key, and thereby whole attention is paid towards setting the proper environment for the teaching and arranging most appropriate language experiences, leading to the satisfactory and rewarding results. Care should be taken to provide immediate reinforcement for the shaping of sound conduct, attitude, beliefs, along with the assimilation of right knowledge and useful things. So the essential features of this theory are environmental influences plays a great role in the shaping and molding of human behavior and personality. Second, teaching is nothing but an attempt for the proper organization of environmental influences to help the child in the shaping and molding of his behavior in a desirable way. Then third, in the process of teaching, due care should be taken to maintain proper link between the stimulus and response by arranging relevant learning situations. The teacher's main task lies in arranging proper learning situations and provides reasonable freedom to the child for learning and developing his potential in a desired way. Next point, sensation and perception play a key role in the process of communication. Then, for better communication, the new knowledge should always be linked with the past experiences and old knowledge possessed by the students. And last, hereditary and environmental factors both should be provided due to importance in the process of teaching. So this is about molding theory of teaching. Next one is, fourth theory is the mutual inquiry theory. So this theory believes that the child is very curious by nature and he is in the habit of acquiring knowledge by putting questions or making inquiry about things and happenings. Therefore, teachers' main duty lies in arranging the learning situations in such a way to help the child to discover the knowledge by him through inquiry. So this has to be done by investigating about, first point is the nature, interest and basic potential of the child. Second, the nature of the subject matter or learning experiences to be acquired through inquiry. Third, the method of inquiring, the method of inquiry suited to the nature of the subject and needs of the learners. And fourth, the nature of the environmental setting that can be helpful in making use of such inquiry and problem solving approach. So according to this theory, inquiry theory, teaching becomes a cooperative enterprise in which both the learner and teacher engage in the process of inquiring and achieve the desired instructional objectives by adopting inquiry and investigating approach. So here the task of acquisition of knowledge by the learner becomes possible through a proper environmental setting in which the child is helped to achieve the desired instructional objectives with limited guidance from the teacher. He is helped in discovering the knowledge by himself instead of its mere telling by the teacher or reproduction by the teacher. So the teaching learning process is shared by the learner and teacher through mutual inquiry by raising questions, sharing the discovery of new knowledge, and arriving at the new and novel ways of solving the problems. So the main features of this theory, inquiry theory, are knowledge is best acquired through inquiry and investigation. Then second, better teaching involves the organization of teaching learning situations in such a way as to help the child to discover knowledge with limited guidance from the teacher. Third feature is teaching and learning is a cooperative enterprise, as I told you earlier also, in which both teacher and learner have to participate by adopting inquiry and problem-solving approach. Next point, teacher and learner both should try to select most appropriate method for the inquiry and investigation depending upon the nature of the subject matter, available environmental setting, and stipulated instructional objectives. And the last point, this theory recommends the use of methods promoting mutual inquiry, such as inquiry training method, heuristic, or you can say discovery method, and problem solving method. So this is about the theory of inquiry. Now, next type is descriptive theories of teaching. You know, the second type, we have covered formal teaching methods. Now, the descriptive theories of teaching. So the theories of teaching which try to describe the variables involved in the process of teaching in terms of their interrelationships and predicted effectiveness are called descriptive theories of teaching. So these descriptions are based on empirical evidences and objective observations. So since they are also predictive and prescriptive in nature, they are also called prescriptive theories of teaching. So descriptive theories of teaching is also known as prescriptive theories of teaching. So they prescribe and point out the proper ways of organizing instructional process for achieving the desired instructional objectives, and consequently these are responsible for the origin of number of theories of instruction like Gagné hierarchical theory of instruction, then Atkinson optimal theory of instruction, Bruner's cognitive theory of instruction. It's a vast topic, but we have time constant, so I'll cover little briefly. So next topic, since we have time, I would like to explain the concept about teaching in a simplified manner. See, this theory considers concept about teaching. This is what. So a theory considers teaching as a general phenomena rather than a specialized one. So according to the teaching refers to activities general in nature that are designed and performed to produce change in students' behavior. So what are the variables of teaching? See, according to this theory, teaching process in general involves three types of variables. First, independent variable, that is teacher. Second, dependent variable, the learner. And third one is intervariable, the teaching learning situations, curriculum, teaching aids, strategies, and evaluation devices. So three variables. First, independent variable means teacher, dependent variable, learner, and third is intervening variable. It includes teaching learning situations, curriculum, teaching aids, strategies, and evaluation devices, etc. So now, levels of teaching. See, so in this theory, there are three levels in a process of teaching. Level one, it sets the stage for starting the act of actual teaching. Level two, the stage of actual and active teaching. And level three, the stage of appraisal and evaluation of the product and process of teaching. So besides mentioning these levels, this theory provides rules and principles to be observed for carrying out a number of activities at different levels. Now, level one is what? It sets the stage for starting the act of actual teaching. Now, in this, principles to be observed at level one. What are the principles? So, according to this theory, a teacher has to keep in mind the following principles for creating necessary conditions to initiate the process of teaching. So, first principle, proper opportunity must be provided for communication between teacher and students and among students. Second principle, develop teacher-pupil relation, teacher-student relationship in such a way that it may induce better teaching. Third, while teaching a group or in a classroom, care should be taken to build up a social environment helpful in better learning. And last principle, teacher must ensure that students are sufficiently motivated to learn, that students are active in the process of teaching learning. So these are the principles to be observed at level one. Now the principles to be observed at level two. See, what was the level two? Level two is what? The stage of actual and active teaching. Okay, so what are the principles to be observed at level two? So the level two represents the stage of action and is related with actual teaching and learning. So this theory of teaching provides, broad guiding principles to be observed by the teacher. See, in the level two, teacher must make use of appropriate teaching strategies that are common with the needs and characteristics of the learners, the learning theories, and the specific curricular objectives. Then, principles to be observed at level three. Level three is what? The stage of appraisal and evaluation of the product and the process of teaching. So the teaching activities at level three are related to reinforcement and evaluation of the activities carried out at level two. So this theory provides the following guidelines to teachers at this level. What are the guidelines for level three? Teacher must have a proper assessment and evaluation of students' progress in terms of realization of set objectives. Third, based upon this assessment and evaluation, teacher must accordingly plan for re-teaching, modifying, and substituting the teaching strategies, bringing modification and alteration of the teaching objectives. Third, proper evolution. The teacher must take care of the definitions, or you can say definedness of the instructional objectives. So each of these objectives should be stated in defined behavioral terms, incorporating the minimum level of performance demonstrated by the pupil at the end of the teaching activity. And the last, it must be able to get proper feedback from the result of such assessment and evaluation. Now, distinguishing teaching strategy from the similar terms, and see what is the difference between teaching method and teaching strategy. See, teaching method, first I'll explain teaching strategy, and simultaneously I'll try to explain teaching tactics or teaching method. See, teaching strategy. A teaching strategy is always goal directed, and the goal is the realization of the set teaching learning objective. Teaching strategy. Now, teaching tactic is what? Teaching tactics represent those activities and behavior of the teacher which help in devising and implementing a suitable strategy for the realization of set objective. Now, in teaching strategy, second point, teaching strategy include the activities both on the part of the learner and the teacher for creating appropriate teaching learning environment for the realization of the objective. Now, in teaching tactics are concerned only with the behaviors and activities of the teacher responsible for creating suitable learning structure. Now, in teaching strategy, third point, teaching objective and task analysis are quite fundamental to a teaching strategy, and in teaching tactics, creation of an appropriate learning structure is a central theme for teaching tactics. And last point, in teaching strategy is a quite comprehensive term which include all what a teacher does in fulfilling his task of teaching, that is realization of objectives. Thus a teaching strategy includes teaching methods, teaching techniques, teaching aids, material teaching tactics for framing such a broad teaching learning structure as to help the learner in the realization of set objectives. And in teaching tactics, the last point, teaching tactics is quite a small and limited term in comparison to teaching strategy. So it is a small segment, component, or a unit of the teacher behavior helpful to him for the realization of his teaching objectives. And finally, my last slide is methods and strategies. See, different teaching methods like lecture method, demonstration method, inductive deductive method, heuristic method, problem solving method, project method. These are the methods are used for our presentation of the subject matter to the students. So any method which we use is always selected and directed to serve our purpose of presenting the subject material as effectively as possible. So thus any method reflects a particular mode of presentation of some specific contents of a subject. So on the contrary, so this is about method. A strategy is a selected and employed not only for the effective presentation of some specific subject material, but also for the realization of predetermined, which is predetermined teaching learning objectives. So thus, strategy as a term is more comprehensive in its scope as well as structure in comparison to a method. So the distinction between them is the distinction made between these two methods and strategies sometimes get narrower as both serve as the means for carrying out the task of teaching effectively. That is the reason why we have many common names included in both the categories like lecture, demonstration, problem solving, heuristic project, etc. However, the line of demarcation is quite clear. All these may be refers as strategies when utilized as means for the realization of the well-defined objectives. However, when their field of application or the role is limited only to the presentation of subject matter and they serve only as mode for such presentation, these are referred to as methods and strategies. So we employ a number of tactics for the effective implementation of teaching strategy in the same way as we employ appropriate teaching techniques and teaching aids for the effective implementation of teaching methods. Thus, any what I can say, any task for its effective performance has to be dealt with theoretically and practically. A theory provides a framework, useful planning, and scheme incorporating effective steps to be taken for performing a task or experiencing any activity as successfully as possible. So teaching is a task undertaken by the teacher to produce desirable changes in the behavior of the student. For performing the task effectively, a teacher needs some pre-planning and theoretic understanding of activities that are desirable to set his behavior in tune with the task to be performed by him. So theories of teaching equip him with such theoretical, what I can say, understanding and framework. And lastly, I would like to explain some of the basic or very famous, what I can say, advanced teaching methodologies. Just give me a minute. Yes. So, as educators, it is essential to always keep up with the latest research and techniques in the field of education to ensure that our students receive the best education possible. So now, for a couple of minutes, for 4-5 minutes, I'll be discussing some of the most effective and innovative teaching methodologies that can help enhance the learning process. So first, I'm going to explain active learning. So what is active learning? Active learning is a teaching methodology that encourages students to take an active role in their learning process. It involves hands-on activities, group discussion, and problem-solving tasks that require students to think critically and engage with the subject matter. So by actively participating in their learning process, students can develop a deeper understanding of the subject matter and improve their retention of information. Next is very famous flipped classroom. The flipped classroom is a teaching methodology that involves reversing the traditional teaching approach. So in a flipped classroom, students watch pre-recorded lectures or read materials before class and then come to class ready to engage in activities or you can say discussions and projects related to the subject matter. So this allows students to learn at their own pace and spend class time engaging in hands-on learning activities and collaborating with peers. Third is project-based learning. See, project-based learning is a teaching methodology that involves engaging students in long-term projects that require them to apply the knowledge and skills they have learned in a real-world context. By working on projects, students can develop problem-solving skills, creativity, curiosity, and critical thinking abilities. So it also provides an opportunity for students to work collaboratively and learn from each other. Next is generally used for primary, secondary level teaching, which is gamification. So gamification is the name itself says the meaning. Methodology that involves incorporating elements of games into the learning process. So it can include using points, badges, and leaderboards to progress or creating interactive games that engage students in the learning process. So gamification can make learning more fun and engaging, which can lead to improved student motivation and retention. And last method is personalized learning. This is quite famous nowadays. So personalized learning is a teaching methodology that involves tailoring instruction to meet the unique needs and interests of individual students. So it can include using adaptive learning software that adjusts to students' learning needs, providing choices in assignments and projects, or allowing students to work at their own pace. So personalized learning can increase student engagement and motivation by providing a more personalized learning experience. So in conclusion, uh, I tried to explain the concept of the what is teaching, the concept of teaching, the theory of teachings, then advanced teaching methodologies, and these the emerging teaching methodologies. So these are just a few of the advanced teaching methodologies that can help enhance the learning process. As educators, it is essential to keep up with the latest research and techniques in the field of education to ensure that our students receive the best education possible. By incorporating these methodologies into our teaching practices, we can create a more engaging and effective learning environment for our students. So that's my conclusion. And thank you for listening. And lastly, this is about advanced teaching methodology. But for educators and for students, inspiration is needed. So uh, in every lecture, I shared my gurus Mashilkar mantras. So what are those mantras? So there are 10 Mashilkar mantras, which is helpful for every educator, student, and individual. First mantra is what? Your aspirations are your possibilities. Keep them always high. This is first message. Second, like instant coffee, there is no instant success. Work hard, success will follow. Third mantra, but work hard in silence, let success make the noise. Fourth, persistence pays. It is always too soon to quit. Fifth, don't wait for opportunities to knock on your door. Create opportunities, build your own doors. Number 6, you can do anything, but not everything. So choose and focus. 7, be curious forever. Creativity follows curiosity. New creation follows creativity. Number 8, when someone tells you it cannot be done, take it more as a reflection of his limitation, not yours. Number 9, I in every individual must stand for innovation, not for inhibition or imitation. It is better to fail in originality than succeed in imitation. And last one is there is no limit to human imagination and achievement, accepting the limits you yourself put on your mind. So go limitless and outperform yourself. So thank you so much, all the educators, faculties, listeners, students, for actively and patiently listening to me for, I must say, a very exhaustive lecture. Thank you so much, Dr. Shailaja and all the team, Cape Cameron Trust, and all the organizing committee members for organizing, for giving me opportunity to express my thoughts and giving platforms, giving this wonderful platform for all our educators and for the education fraternity. Thank you so much, everyone.